Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Pastor Ray Oberst, co-founder of the Parker Jordan Christian Academy, a growing option for families in Allegany County.
2021 was our first year, so we're in our fourth year right now. The name Parker Jordan comes as kind of a legacy name to a couple of gentlemen that were part of a ministry in the Wellsville area. That ministry helped us get started and off our feet.
How hard has it been to make a go of it? Private schools have been struggling in general. You're in Allegany County, kind of rural area, not tremendously affluent. How's it going so well?
It has been very interesting. The planning for PJCA started in 2019, and actually many years before that, the Lord had put the idea of a Christian school in my wife and I's heart for many years, and we just pray about it, and it was never the right time. 2019 seemed to be the right time. He put it on our heart, and we started to gather a team of people around it and started making plans. Right as that happened, the spring of 2020, the pandemic hit, which seemed to be like, wonder what we're doing.
Yeah,
is this what
rough timing
we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very interesting, Lord. But we kept plugging away. And of course, along with the pandemic was a downturn in the economy. Everything in the natural seemed to be working against what God was trying to do here. But he said to keep going and to trust him. There's a reason there aren't very many Christian schools in this area. There was nothing K-12 in our county at all. And we really feel that that's why God asked us to do this at this time, and we just trusted him.
Against all those odds we went over, here you are with a waiting list. Why do you think that is?
We get kids for all kinds of reasons. Initially, most of the kids that came to us is because there was a real academic struggle, a need that wasn't being met. The pandemic put kids behind, a bunch of anxieties, fears about being at school in the public school system. Some of it was family values that didn't align anymore. So families came to us for a lot of reasons, but mostly it was academic concerns and kids falling really far behind. Our first year, we had 15 kids. In the following year, we had 24. The year after that was 42. It grew really quickly as word spread about what we were doing and the success that kids were having. They were finding peace. Anxieties were being cleared up. Just being able to pray with kids, teach them the Word of God, invite them into a relationship with Christ seemed to put kids on a really good footing for academic success.
There is just a tremendous hunger out there right now.
Absolutely. There is a huge hunger. There's a huge need, just a need for Christ, a need for God, a need for His Word. And anywhere families can find a way to help their kids with that is where they're reaching for. I admire the public schools. I worked the public school system for 20 years. I was a teacher. A lot of amazing people doing the best they can. But the one thing that was always a hindrance was the ability to share the Word of God with kids. And when kids are suffering and they're hurting, that's the one thing that they absolutely need is the Word of God. And they need to see the love of Christ shared with them. They need prayer, adults praying with them. And that's been a big difference.
One of the big problems with Christian education is kids who want to play sports and who are unable to do that, but you've managed to forge some ties there to allow that to happen.
We have just great relationship with our local district. My wife and I are both 1996 graduates of Bolivar Richburg, so we have had that deep connection to the community. And then I had taught at Bolivar Richburg for 6 years, and so when we found ourselves in Little Genesee within that district, we've already had some really great relationships. So when the Lord put the school there, we had the opportunity to expand. We initially started K-8, but a couple years ago, the Lord said, time to move up higher grades. And one of the requests from parents that they really wanted us to see was a way for kids to play sports. Being a really small Christian school, we didn't have the numbers to create our own sports programs or field a team of any kind. So I approached the Bolivar Richburg, the superintendent and the Board of Education and the community and said, if our parents raise the funds, would you consider allowing us to combine some sports with you and allow our kids to play? And the response at the school was wonderful. And it's just opened up a lot of doors of opportunity for students to be a light with their friends, with their teammates. It has allowed us to forge better relationships and stronger relationships with our local public school. And it's been a real blessing.
You've also served a lot of kids who need special education services, and that's certainly an important niche to fill as well.
It really is. 20% or so of our students have an IEP or some kind of special services needed. And that's another service that we're able to work with our local district. Bolivar Richburg sends to us a special ed teacher and helps meet those needs within our building. So that's been a blessing to be able to welcome kids of all kinds of abilities and needs
Given the times we live in, it seems with that hunger we talked about that the appetite for Christian education is probably going to continue to grow.
I really think it is. There's a lot of families that are hurting. The economy, just the nature of what's going on in our world, the confusion and fears. There's a desire and a hunger growing for answers, for help, for support. And being one more avenue, we enjoy a lot of support from local churches too, to be one more place where families and kids can go to have the gospel shared with them, the Word of God shared with them, and just to be encouraged.
That's Pastor Ray Oberst, co-founder and executive director of Allegany County's Parker Jordan Christian Academy. Learn more at parkerjordanca.org. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.